IDS 302. Welcome to Module 4, Video 1. I don't have my AirPods on. I'm trying this. Hopefully, um, it'll sound okay. I think it does. So, just kind of experimenting. Yeah, sorry about the cinematography. It's just not there today. Although, if I flip the camera, there's my baby down there. I got a new parking spot right by my apartment, which I'm so happy about. Anyways, small moves, Ellie. Small moves. Okay, so let's talk. Module 4, Video 1. I'm going to add, by the way, this, your Video 1 score to that midterm video I did last week. All right. First of all, in terms of the readings from here, we have I basically have chapter 12, the value of interdisciplinary studies, about 5 pages, and then supplemental readings, 13, 14, 15 means they're kind of optional, but everything's always optional, right? Okay, here's the deal. You're not going to get tested on this anymore, all right? This is for your own value in terms of your degree, and your degree should not be judged by the value if you were tested on it, right? It makes sense, doesn't it? Okay. You should, I'm not going to get into a lot of profound statements here, but chapter 12, the value of interdisciplinary studies, I think it's just beneficial, right? I mean, the little sections here, objectives, a systemic complex problem, the need for interdisciplinary studies, integrative learning, value defined, blah, 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 okay? In terms of chapter 13, 14, and 15, you're getting more into job hunting, interdisciplinary portfolios, interdisciplinary resumes, and graduation and graduate schools, which don't always apply to everybody, of course, right? So I'm just saying that those 5 pages should be of value, okay? Yes, if some of you are here just to say, just need a degree and get me out of here, I don't need any of this, then, that's your prerogative. I'm not judging you. Some of you are saying, this thing is costing me a lot of money, this education. And, you've got a academic focus that's not too usual, I guess. So having as much as you can to sell it is probably important to you, okay? So in that case, like I said, take that for the value. I think this is a great little, book to have handy at all times if you bought it, or the online ebook, what have you, okay? Easter egg number 1, then, I'm just going to go lifetime value, okay? Because IDS does have a lifetime value. I think it applies to so many situations, even though we remember that interdisciplinary studies is not just jack of all trades, it's not just multitasking. It has to do with academic study. It has to do with the disciplines and putting scholarly things together. But those things can apply in other areas of life in different ways too. That in the end, it's a lot about critical thinking, isn't it? It's about making sure that we're not blind to certain dynamics of an issue or problem. Okay, so let's talk about this discussion, thinking outside the box. That's coming up. Granted, I should have that one before the HAL movie thing. I know I should, because you're going to see I copied a document that has a lot of disciplines on it, things that can be called disciplines, things that are studied, things that are areas of focus, silos of learning. Yeah, it's overwhelming, but I'm using it to make the point that that there's a lot, and thinking outside the box, which is another cliche, of course, is still applies here. So frankly, this is a Word doc that has how many pages is this? 33 pages, 49 pages is still uploading. So there's 49 pages. Now it's just one long list. Just so you know, it's a long list. 49 pages, bullet points of different areas of study. Because I want to overwhelm you with this and say, oh my God, look at all these things. Each one of these probably has its own methodology, their own outlook, their own concepts and nomenclature, words that they use in it, right? And I think you'll probably find it interesting just to skim this and to see what some of these things are. And I'm sure there's some of you never heard of, right? So let's see, I wrote here that I created this. All right, so take a look, read that, read the first page, introduction, and then take a look at these. And this discussion, you know, I want you to read the instructions here, okay? And I want you to take it for what I'm writing here, because if you come back to me with just your two concentrations, man, I'm going to give that a 0, just so you know, okay? Because I'm not talking about your two concentrations here. I'm talking about thinking outside the box, to be yourself, okay? You're not obligated to use any of these in your research or anything else, but I want you to consider, as interdisciplinarians, some of these things that are out there, so you know of that, right? Okay, so important little exercise, I think, and it should work well for you in this course to have that. All right, let's talk about the survey link. Survey thing got turned on its head. SurveyMonkey has been evolving over the last year or so. They make these little changes and they affect me, and I seem to get around them. This time it may be the end of the line. I didn't see it coming, and it came at a very bad time. So I guess the thing is this: if you can use SurveyMonkey, because maybe you've had an account there for a while, because it seems like I can't, so maybe it's a grandfathering issue on that. Who are you calling a grandfather? Okay. So it's up to you to give it a try. Google Forms, Google Survey, which you have access to as an ASU student. I like it. I'm just not familiar with it. I just, you know, you kind of stick with, you fell close to the nest. I'm gonna have to get a quick learning curve on Google Docs and Google Forms. I think it's a quiz, actually it's called, or a survey, whatever, but you might be better off just going to that. It seems to offer the same question formats that I talked about in the video. So it seems very usable. I do not know, however, I have not seen how the results are collected and how you access those. So that may be of interest. If anybody considers themselves adept at Google surveys and want to set up a call with me, I would greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate if you could help me get my learning curve up on that too, if you've used it before and compiled data from it in any way, shape, or form. I like to get feedback on this, because I obviously have to you know, really shift my thought process on this. And but the same rules apply in terms of no age range. If I don't know if they offer that, so don't give me like 18 to 24, 25 to 35. I don't want that. I want just, that's the only place we have an open box. Write your age, because you're just not going to have enough responses to need groups. You can group them later, okay? If you don't have anybody 18 to 20, then you don't need to mention that as a group. But if you have 21 to 23, you have 10 people there, then fine. You'll see in the sample paper I give you how age is disseminated. It's important. It's an important demographic for you to use, don't get me wrong. But I'm 60, what am I, 62. I'm going to do every survey, so you have somebody that's old, okay, just in case you don't. You should try for a wide range. Even though it's random, adults are going to try for a wide range. This is why, I'll get to this in a minute, but okay, so no open comment questions. There is no multiple choice than other. You don't have an other. No, you give people the choices. You don't have any open boxes for anecdotal discussion of a question. That makes your survey qualitative, and it requires a lot more analysis in terms of coding, transcription, meaning fields, validity horizon. You don't want to get into that in this course, as much as they're great things to learn, but we don't have time. No yes or no questions. Use the slider, the rating, something, so you can rate intensity, okay? How much do I like this weather right now? I love it. It's a 5. It's not like, do you like the weather, yes or no? How much do you like this weather? Oh, I love it. Okay, so or I hate it. So in the middle, take it or leave it. Okay. So see the difference between yes or no and rating intensity. So I'm going to do all the surveys, but we need to be careful. The goal, I think, is going to be 40 surveys because that's what SurveyMonkey allowed. If you can get more, great. Have at it, have a ball. If you get less, well, it's a sliding scale, in my opinion, to how many? Because if you have 10, no, you can't. You can't have 10. You just can't. If you're not getting a response, you need to let me know right away, okay? Well, here's the deal. You're going to post your link in the discussion board that's coming up, right? I'm going to try to think of a way, because I don't want, normally I would tell every class, do everybody's survey, just go up through everybody's survey. So everybody does it, but I usually only have like 20, 25 students. I got 70 in this class, 71. I got like 60 at least that are actively participating. That's a lot. That's going to overwhelm it. And, I don't think we have enough age demographic difference to really get something juicy on there that we can really pick out. So I'd like it to be a little more broad, even though what happens, because again, it's random adults. I realize it, but we are going to do some things to make the results a little, like I said, a little better to analyze. So I'm going to try to decide, maybe I can break you guys down into like alphabetical order and say everybody from A to L do, any survey that from a student at A to L or something. I'm just thinking, so I can give you like 15 to 20 that you can help participate in, and then everybody does that and then sends them out to wherever. You should have enough. But again, communicate with me if there's any questions or issues on this, okay? So remember the objective of this, though, okay? I don't want you to lose sight of the big picture of this research paper. You guys are doing so great. Now, I'm going to look at the annotated bibliographies today. 45 are submitted, and I'll score those, and I'm sure they're going to be great. I'm just sure, because you guys are doing such a great job in terms of when we started, and it was all haphazard, and sometimes careless, sometimes just wasn't right. And you're moving into step 4 and 5 now, and you got this. Okay, I'm serious. I'm really impressed how the writing is improved, how the formatting is improved. So you should be proud of that as well. Let's keep an eye on the big picture now, okay? Because I don't want it to be like, it's like step 1, and there was step 2, and there was step 3. Remember the big picture here, okay? You chose a topic that interested you. It was general. I did that on purpose, right? Because I wanted people to just start getting into their areas a little bit. Then, I introduced that question. What are some of the opinions, perspectives, and experiences regarding, boom, your topic, revealed in a survey of random adults, question mark. And that gave us kind of an overarching theme that this research on this topic that you chose and looked up previous research for this annotated bibliography and articles and research, it's going to lead you into this survey of what are some of the opinions, because that's what you are. That's what you're bringing to the table at the end of the day, is you are going to have a snapshot of opinions, perceptions, and experiences relative to the survey being quantitative. So experiences there is a little not as strong, because you're not asking people to write their experiences, but you're directing a lot of people into their experiences. So in that way, I want you to remember that when you're doing your survey, okay, you really want to find out from people about this particular topic that you're doing. That's why I drove some of you in a particular way, because I knew we had to get some topic, and we couldn't do it on record collections in Southeast Asia, because it's not going to relate to people, right? In this course, in this study. So remember that, okay? Remember that question. It's not a question in your survey, but it's an overarching ideological question on this research, which keeps everything in a relatively doable fashion in 7.5 weeks. So Easter egg number 2 is the big picture. So I want you to remember that, right? Then we get into step 4. Step 4, due November 24th, 11 days from where I'm sitting, is worth 125 points, because you're getting there. You've got 2 steps left, and you're putting it together. This is so awesome, isn't it? I mean, you're getting there. It's happening. Oh my God, it's happening. And so take a look at it. In the next video, I'll talk more about step 4, I'm sure. But I just went through the instructions for step 4. I think they're very understandable. I look at the sample for step 4 that I posted. I think it's very good. And I think you should be able to get a clear picture of what you need to do for step 4. Again, it's a reason it's 125 more points. It's a reason that there's no other work to do in this thing except the discussion board and the survey link. It's because this is work now. This is rigor, okay? This isn't like take your foot off the gas and I can just throw a 2-page paper at them with the first page, with the second page being a works cited list. So remember that, okay? And take a look and demonstrate academic rigor, all right? If any of you plan to go into grad school, this is an introduction to that type of level of giving you something to do. Go and start doing it, and it's not this little 10-question quiz or anything. This is a paper, okay, and it goes with this bigger paper, and you're doing it already. You're doing a great job of it too, okay? So, and I can say that obviously because I think 36 people in this course are working on an A, 15 are working on a B, so that's 51 out of 60. There's a tiny handful of C's, and then the D's and the E's. The D's have a chance to move up to C if they want to, and the E's have just I think they kind of disappeared. So overwhelmingly, this course is doing superior level work, okay? I'm so easy, aren't I? I'm not picky. Okay, remember in your formatting, and I guess I just don't want you to lose easy points. So remember the in-text citations, okay? Just remember that. They go before the punctuation. It's in the parentheses. It's last name, comma, space, year, close parentheses. It's really nothing more than that, unless you have page numbers. Again, don't overthink it. Don't put it where it doesn't belong. Don't give me multiple names. Use an ampersand instead of the word and if you have multiple authors. You know the drill. Most of you have got it, but I hate seeing anybody lose easy points on that. Same with the works cited list. Hanging paragraphs, no extra line spaces between them, double line space, everything. Use the same font. Times New Roman 12-point font. I'm surprised the amount of people are giving me like font shifts because they're copying and pasting something, and it's so be careful. Be disciplined in this, okay? Other than that, I think that's it from here. I'm going to go have breakfast. Let me know if you have questions, comments, concerns. Again, I think people are doing a spectacular job. I'm really impressed, and I hope you're feeling good about where you're at. Looking forward to doing the annotated bibliography scores today. Easter egg number 3 is the finish line is in sight. Okay, so I think we're like 3 weeks away or something. Maybe is that? You know what? We are. I think it's 3 weeks from today the class ends. Oh my God, who's nervous? Who's excited? I am. Okay, forks up. Peace.